Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. A pretty big day today, not going to lie. Some cool stuff came out, and one of those things that is really cool came from Ashish Birla, an employee, or actually the SVP of product over at Ripple. He did a podcast, and it is also very interesting. So today I want to talk about what he has said because it's rather important. And also, of course, I got some bigger crypto news. But make sure, guys, that you press the like button and subscribe. And also, of course, comment something down below because that's all you need to do to enter into our 100 XRP giveaway that we do every single day. Now, I also have a second channel which is called 5 Minute Crypto. A link is in the description. I want you guys all to follow that one as well. I think it's going to be worth your time, all right? I'm trying to look it up here real quick. It's worth your time. It looks like this. Check it out. First off, after the radical increase in XRP volume, according to CMC CoinMarketCap, it only made sense that Jed McCaleb, the co-founder of Ripple, who left and founded Stellar, would increase his sales as per his deal with Ripple. His deal is he can sell XRP at a certain amount of market volume, and that changes every week. Today, 9.9 million XRP were sold, making it the new all-time high of Jet sales. At this rate, Jet's 3.4 billion XRP will run out after 387 days, which means there's a huge bull market coming after that, possibly. Because if you think about it, he is one whale just selling 10 million XRP every single day. And even though it's not something that can keep the price down that hard, there is some incentive and some reason to understand that if he does quit selling eventually, it's very bullish, right? At least that's what I have in the back of my head. That would be very good. And it's kind of funny that while he's selling more and more, I just keep buying more and more. That's kind of funny to sometimes think about. Again, I'm being very positive on XRP. And I mean, theoretically speaking, we should be going down right now as every time we form a bullish pennant on XRP, the price breaks to the downside, which it is kind of doing right now. It happens every single time, 10 out of 10, which is kind of funny. So I kind of want to see here. Yeah, we really are breaking to the downside here. It happens every time that XRP makes a kind of a bullish pennant or even the notion of that. It just breaks out to the downside, which is rather interesting. But this one is not my general bullish pennant, as this one was a little bit vague and it was not perfect. There are some other patterns to attach to it, but let's quickly check here what it is actually doing, because I'm only noticing this right now as it just started most likely within the last 10 minutes. It's a downfall, but we are still above our low of just now. If this is going to be a green candle, I think it's just another bottom being formed here within this zone. However, if we test the bottom of the zone, it could be a positive thing, could be a negative thing. It's not necessarily either, as sometimes hitting the bottom of the zone is just to retest, but sometimes it's also something negative because that means, again, there are not enough buyers in this whole zone, which will indicate that a little bit later we'll fall back down to possibly 44 cents as we predicted. But again, keep in mind, guys, I am not too eager to trade at this point because I am unsure whether or not we can continue this uptrend that we formed since about a couple of days ago. Or I guess we're macro in a big trend, don't get me wrong. Prices are going to be going up in my opinion, but if we'll fall back down to 44 cents before increasing, that I cannot tell just quite yet. It's sometimes looking like that, but every time it kind of switches around. This whole move was very bullish. This move, again, the sideways momentum, is kind of showing with the lower highs right now and lower lows that it might not actually increase from this. It might still have its problems here in the zone. Maybe it just touched the top, but it couldn't really breach, and there's still too many people selling in here. I'm still indeterminate, but that's all aside. I want to talk here about the podcast, which I found very interesting. The SVP of product at Ripple discusses how money should move, the ins and outs of RippleNet, why they are providing lines of credit, DeFi, digital currencies, and more. And I already should tell you here, I don't have a perfect summary for this because there's too much, all right? There are the most important points that he talks about, though, which you guys need to know about. Let's quickly read here. The way we move money around the world has, for the part, not changed much in the many decades, but real change is on the horizon, and that is actually already happening. Many companies are reimagining the challenge in new ways, and by the end of the decade, moving money internationally will be likely as easy as sending an email through the Internet of Value, what Ripple is building. Our next guest on the Lend Academy podcast is Ashish Birla, the SVP of product at Ripple. Ripple is tackling money movement head on as they connect financial institutions directly to provide a quicker and more efficient experience. In the podcast, you will learn how Ashish met up with Chris Larsen as he was getting started at Ripple, doesn't really matter. How he describes Ripple and RippleNet today. I would actually say that his way of describing it within the podcast is mostly just as the newer thing. Let's quickly see if we can actually see here again. It just talks about it being the newer thing and pretty damn good. What countries they are focused on? Well, we all know what Ripple is being focused on, or what Ripple's focusing on right now. It kind of works in a way that he did not describe, though, in my opinion. You got to think about it this way. They want to work with every kind of country where you, of course, have a huge amount of remittances, but also which most likely has a positive kind of outlook for XRP. I mean, the US right now could definitely not be Ripple's focus because if you think about it, 95% of it is out of the US right now. And if the US eventually declares XRP a security, as long as their basis is not in the US, it's not going to change anything for XRP because it will be a security only in the United States, which wouldn't really mean much then if they operate for 95 or even more percent eventually outside of the US. So whatever it's called in the US, it ain't gonna matter. So who's using it and what are they focused on? Well, the bigger countries that have a lot of remittances, which again is their focus, which we've already seen in RippleNet, so that's kind of logical. But if you're talking about expansion, you should also kind of think about what the Ripple and Internet of Value notion and idea is, which is to connect worlds together and make sure that moving money is as simply as moving information. So to a certain degree, with their promise of getting all pairs in 2021, their focus should be every country right now. It should be every country and connecting them all together to one single hub for CBDCs. But let's keep that for just a second. How they are working with MoneyGram. I also saw a couple of people say, Ripple is selling. No, we should be afraid. Ripple is selling XRP. No. A lot of people are always afraid. They also said, Ripple is selling MoneyGram, so they're cashing out. No worries, guys. Told you guys about that before. They're selling MoneyGram at 100% profit, which, again, a sane person would do. So it's not really stupid for them to do that. Why RippleNet is better than Swift? Well, it's again a difficult one to tackle there because there's still, in my mind, some doubt whether or not Ripple is really better than Swift. It's just something different. Swift has been here for decades, so their technology is definitely good. And more specifically, their bonds, and I'm not trying to say government bonds, but I'm trying to say their connections to other companies are phenomenal. So even though RippleNet has better technology as of this point and more efficient tech, Swift, of course, is building on it as well. And they have way better connections and they have a way better road paved for themselves. So they're a lot better inside of this realm. So RippleNet is a lot more annoying if you want to use it right now, but hopefully within years it will be better and bigger than Swift because Swift is bigger, and in a world where you need the most amount of connections to work properly, bigger is certainly better. What their ODL, which is again the product that uses XRP, product does, we all know it before, so I don't need to explain that one. How Ripple's new line of credit product works is just kind of you give XRP out as a loan for those who want to make transactions. So it's not like you can just loan XRP and go on and buy yourself some new shoes. It's like you can sort of loan XRP to make these transactions through ODL. And what the bigger picture with that one is and how that one works is they want to make sure that these small e-commerce businesses or really SMEs and guys like those, they don't have a disadvantage against these multi-billion-dollar companies who can afford to transact more money. So they want to make sure there's a credit line possible so you can kind of, upfront already get it without already needing to have it. Hopefully you guys got that. What Ashish thinks about the explosion in DeFi this year, I really don't care what he thinks about DeFi. I personally do not enjoy DeFi too much, and I think everything added on XRP that concerns DeFi is, even though it's a use case built, I still don't like it. I still think there's too many people getting scammed right now, and you can make a lot of money with that, don't get me wrong, but there are too many people getting scammed with it. What we are seeing in the crypto space right now, we're seeing huge expansion, huge institutional interest. How he views the emergence of central bank digital currencies, it's coming up. It's definitely coming up rather quickly here, rather amazingly. And while Ripple can connect the last mile in tandem with CBDCs, Ripple can work on creating CBDCs. They are already working on talking with governments and talking with, I guess, central banks to help explore the possibility of creating them. But they also want to, of course, be that remittance provider and making sure that CBDCs work properly. They want to be on both sides of that one. They're already doing that. They have already done that before. And they're planning to expand that, which again is another bullish confirmation for me that they will be working with these CBDCs as they roll out, which is really, really amazing. What US regulators should be doing to encourage the use of crypto. Again, create a level playing field is their biggest point. And what Ripple is focused on for the near future. I actually don't know about that one. I don't know what he said about this. Again, I'm listening, but I'm also doing something else. So I kind of missed what Ripple is focused on for the near future. Well, kind of logically and thinking about what I'm personally going on against, or what I'm thinking about is, what are they focused on? I'm going to say they're trying to create a realm where they have, proper regulation and where they know exactly what they can and cannot do. So they're definitely vouching for that and building that. They're also trying to get more, what are they called now? Pairs. So for example, from XRP to US dollar, but also from XRP to euro, or from euro to US dollar, with XRP being the bridge. They're trying to build those, of course, and get as many corridors as possible. They're trying to expand to as many countries as possible. They're trying to work with as many CBDCs and governments as possible. They're doing a lot. Of course, they're also building new products, and they're also looking for expansion in the crypto realm and making that as big as possible. But ultimately, their biggest vision is working on the Internet of Value, creating that. So that was my 2 cents. Then the question kind of popped up, of course, from within this podcast. Can Ripple and RippleNet bridge local CBDCs efficiently? And this executive, again, Ashish Birla, does think so. In quotes, the question first, there is a real need in the market for an all-in-one experience, he said, adding that apart from the existing customers, there's a whole other segment around e-commerce that needs the same thing. Quote, I don't think you have the right kind of financial infrastructure to support those kinds of companies, so that's something that I'm really looking forward to in terms of innovating and building for the upcoming year. What Ripple's new product offering is still in its early days, so too is its strategy to capitalize on the growth of interest in CBDCs globally. Speaking about China's CBDC pilot that went live recently, Birla said, I think that everyone else is going to play catch up, to be honest. You don't have so many centralized functions that China does. The interesting thing here is that it has nothing to do with blockchain. In light of the centralized solution being offered by China, CBDCs, Birla noted, I think RippleNet can actually take these local CBDCs and bridge them to make money move more efficiently. And another point to this one is the US has kind of given up the CBDC race, but I'm kind of wondering if the US and maybe these bigger entities like Europe would also allow for a direct transfer of CBDC to another CBDC through XRP, or if they would not want that. Maybe they want to keep everything kind of local, where it's like US has their CBDC, they want to keep it only there and not tradable to any other CBDC directly, or I don't really know exactly what their plans are with that, as they are not globally known or fully known just quite yet, since they're still building them and finishing up these touches, and that also makes it a little bit more difficult to know exactly what we should be expecting and exactly what XRP can or cannot do. By the way, whenever you guys ask me, I keep telling you guys I am quite convinced the moon is going to be coming, and it's not there quite yet. But a lot of people keep saying, man, when? I do not know. All right, a lot of guys said a couple of months after the halving, we're building that, we are doing that. And I think that's because scarcity takes its effect just after a halving does, and not directly, but quite soon afterwards. And in this case, it's also because of the pandemic that we saw where everything went well. But if you compare 2013 to what we're seeing right now, things are looking very, very bloomy. Are you not seeing that? Things are looking very, very bloomy. We are somewhere right around here, or maybe this one, falling back down a little bit, and then to only skyrocket further. And a lot of guys I saw test this with Elliott Wave, where everything works out properly as well. If you follow any pattern there, it still needs to go higher. This correction was meager. It was okay. It wasn't proper. But a lot of guys said we need to hit number 4, number 5 actually, at the top, a lot higher for Bitcoin before falling back down to about 16,000. And I'm still on that line as well. All right, I think we can go up here. We're going to be going up. And the same thing happens for XRP and XLM. Now, Stellar is actually one of the coins that really regained its momentum rather fast here. And ADA is on that same note. XRP is getting close, and is, I should say, pretty damn close, but not really there. However, again, I think we might be making another green candle here and actually taking kind of the same dip. Ooh, just a little bit higher. Not that significantly higher though, just a teeny weeny bit higher. Look at that. So it's again another retest here. Pretty damn interesting though. I think we're going to be moving up from this one again. That's again my assumption. I can't know for sure, but that's because it happened right here. And it kind of looks like that's what happens all the time, where we dip down very far into the zone, then retrace back up a little bit, go maybe a couple percent. Let's see how much that would be on average, maybe like 3% or so, before either falling back down, depending on whether or not we're going to be making a lower high right here, or if we're going to go above the zone again. And hopefully, since we've tested it twice now, we're kind of certain that, again, there's a basis, because it's not even the end of the zone, but somewhere in the middle, that we can now finally surpass it and go all the way up here. I'm hoping, though. I'm hoping. Why? Well, some good trades can be made then. I'm not hoping because we would have more money in our pockets. I don't really care. I'm just hoping because then we know where the next direction is going to be heading, so we can make some more money with a nice little trade. On XLM's regard, though, that one is actually a lot more clear, as things are looking a lot more beautiful for XLM, as it's just making a nice little bottom. All right, as long as we don't cross this section, everything is looking pretty damn juicy, and right now, I don't think we actually will. Maybe we do, and you'll hear from me then, but right now, we're still just a teeny weeny little bit above there, about maybe 1% or so, so we need to fall a little bit before we can actually say another little doom scenario. So as of this point, we're all looking pretty damn juicy, and the upside is looking more likely than the downside. On a CBDC perspective, by the way, things are looking pretty amazing for those as well. All right, a lot of countries are working on it right now, and I'm still thinking XRP is going to be that ultimate bridge, giving us a huge control and giving XRP that ultimate use case, which is going to result in tons of money for at least Ripple as of this point, but most likely also a lot of money in XRP, as a lot of entities will not only be holding Bitcoin, but also surely be holding XRP. That's only logical, right? If it has some extraordinarily good use case, I don't think it's strange that a lot of companies would want to hold that and keep it in their pockets just to have. Right? I don't think that would be weird at all. But here, Saudi, UAE central banks work on joint digital currency plan. The Central Bank of the UAE and the Saudi Central Bank launched their Aber project. And by the way, Sama, this region is where Ripple is spearheading right now. They're doing a huge job right there. They made a new regional headquarters there recently, like last month or so. And this is also one of the places which they might move to if the US ever, makes a misstep and doesn't do something good for XRP. The project seeks to evaluate the feasibility of issuing a CBDC, or a digital currency, for the use between two banks. And this is just the start, as a lot of companies and banks and governments are testing it out, and they, of course, have to see if everything is feasible and what the bad sides are to it. But I'm very positive about this one, that the UAE and Ripple having their connection there is a very strong thing, and I'm very bullish on that one. Again, I also have to keep reminding people, it's not me who is commenting down below saying you should contact me or you should text a number. I will not be that guy. I'll definitely not add you on WhatsApp. I'm definitely not going to say add me on Telegram. Nothing like that, so please don't think I'm doing that. It's not me. It's a scammer using my name. XRP army hit by new scam promising community incentives and support. This is just a different note though, but Ripple has already cleared it up over on Twitter, and I already let you guys, or most of you guys, know in my previous video that you should watch out for this. Ripple is not giving away any money. Me on the channel, I'm giving away some money, but I'm definitely not talking about that in the comment section, so don't worry about it, guys. It's not going to be me, so please just watch out. And then Coinbase reluctant to support XRP's Flare airdrop. I don't really know why, but that kind of makes me hesitant as well. Like, why would Coinbase not support a move like this when every other exchange is doing that? Do they just want to not work together with XRP community or XRP, and they just don't care? Or are they not liking the airdrop because it's not really official, they don't really want it? Or what could it be? Is Coinbase just too lazy to implement it because they don't care about us? I mean, Coinbase is a very bad exchange in some ways, as they are really slow with updates. They are down very often, and yeah, you can really pick a couple of points as to why Coinbase is really bad. But why exactly? Why exactly this is going on, I cannot tell. But I think that's actually going to be it for this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Let's move on, though. Later today, I have some other cool topics to talk about, so stay tuned. I'll talk to you guys again in another one, and have a nice day, everybody.